Okay, so at this point, you have your app deployed, you have your GitHub set up. I want to do a couple of things here. I want to show you how to automate the deployment of your application. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my app. Let me clear this out the way. I just want to go to my app and I want to change something over here just so I can have something different locally than I have deployed out there in GitHub. So just so you see, I asked it to find the component that belongs to this. Find the component that belongs to this. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So I think this is running. If I go to localhost 3000, that's not running. Okay, no problem. Let me run it. npm run dev. Give this a second to come up. You refresh it, it should come up now. It's compiling the home page, the landing page. So now it's compiled. Now you can see it pop up over here. This is still the first time. We're still building the cache and everything, so I expect that to take a second to come up. Okay, so everything should be built now. Let me just refresh it again. There we go. All right, so that's going to happen sometimes. The cache isn't loaded. Everything has to load for the first time. I deleted the .next and everything. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to change something in this app. So I went here and it says, your complete transformation guide. It's not clear to me when I look at this that it's talking about the product. It's not clear to me that it's talking about the book. So I went to Windsurf and I said, find the component that this belongs to, your complete transformation guide, blah, 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 what I just showed you. So it went through and it searched everywhere and it said, okay, I found it. It's under a component called chaptershowcase.tsx. Now I'm going to prompt it. And by the way, I went over here and selected, first of all, I pay for a subscription for Windsurf, and it comes with a bunch of models out the box. So I decided that I wanted to use Claude Sonnet 4 Thinking. It's kind of expensive, but it's really good for these types of tasks. So I'm going to say this copy doesn't really resonate. It does not make it clear that this is about, doesn't make it clear that this is about the chapters in the book. I'd like to update this copy, maybe just the main headline, if I can spell headline, something that makes it clear that we are talking about the product, which is the book. Okay, I got some typos in there, but I'm not gonna worry about it. So I wanted to go through here. It's already identified the component. I asked it to do that first. Now I'm just asking it to update the copy. And while it's doing this, I'm gonna bring up the page over here so we can see in real time as it makes its changes. Okay. All right, so it changed it. Inside the book, 10 transformational chapters, discover what awaits you. All right, that does make it clear that we're talking about the book. Now I'm going to ask it, please add some micro interactions, from reactbits.dev. I like the way that the words change color when you hover over them like you did in the hero section. Do this for the chapter showcase section. Okay, so as I'm going through here, I'm making these, a couple of changes here. Now, as I'm starting to make changes, you're noticing that there is a drift of the code from what you're doing locally versus what you have out here on GitHub, and subsequently what is deployed. So after this updates, I'm going to show you how to keep all of this in sync here. Okay, so if you look here, you can see it has added a couple of micro interactions. So it's different now. The code here is now different in at least a couple of places from what's out there on GitHub. So with that said, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to stop Control-C. I'm going to stop this from running. I'm going to do a clear. And now that this is cleared, what I want to do is there is a git-push.bat. Git-push.bat. So I want to update this so that it works with my GitHub repository. So let me get my actual GitHub repository. Where is it? I think it's here. And in my GitHub repository, what do we call this? I think we call this Teaching and Learning with AI. I can't remember. Jesus, this stuff is getting in the way. There's something, you can't see it, but there's something blocking the screen, so that's why it's not working. But I have it now. Let me find the repository, Teaching and Learning with AI. Let me just copy this here. Okay, this is my GitHub repository. What I want to do is I want to automate the push so I don't have to go in and manually push the code out every single time. So now that I have it, I need to go back to git-push.bat. And I'm just going to update it everywhere. Update it everywhere. Control-E. Same thing here. Put the right one. Oh yeah, this is .git. Okay, so this should be .git at the end. Tab .git. Okay. Do I have this anyplace else? Yes, right here. So it looks like it's 3 places in this script. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, perfect. This file, let me do accept all. Let me do file. Make sure you select auto save. I'm going to save it just in case, but make sure you have auto save enabled. Okay, this file here, it looks like it's calling the file called .gitignore. Make sure you have .gitignore. Why don't I see my .gitignore? Okay, so this is a mea culpa from me. Looks like I forgot to put the .gitignore file in the GitHub. That's the .gitignore file, and basically what it says is whenever you use GitHub, then ignore these files over here. So if you use, it's now I put it in the template folder, so it'll be here for you. But for me, I'm going to have to add it over here. So I'm going to need to create a new file. new file, dot git ignore. That's the name of the file. I need to copy the contents from here for dot git ignore. And I just need to paste it in here. And again, I'm just going to save it just to make sure I have it. I know I have it, but I'm just going to be safe. All right, so git push dot back is going to call dot git ignore right here. Dot git ignore, I know I go right here. Dot git ignore is going to say, do not load any file that says node modules. Don't load any file that's .pnp or .js or coverage, or don't use .next or out or anything like that. So it's going to keep your GitHub clean. So you need this git push dot back and dot git ignore. Now the other thing is you have to make sure you have git installed. Make sure you have git installed. So if you type git and you get feedback, that's good. If not, you're going to have to install git. So let me clear this. Now let me see if I can call git dash push dot back. And this sometimes just takes a couple of iterations to go through. All right, so it's giving me an error. This is probably because I don't have a .git ignore, excuse me, a .git folder in here. So let me fix this. Git push dot back. I'm going to fix this right here. This says for agenticvoice.net. I'm going to change this to say for teaching and learning with AI. Okay. All right. So I can fix this very simply just by putting this in here, copy this. I have all these fatal errors here. I'm just going to push that over. I'm going to go in here, do Control C so I can stop this from running. Control C again to terminate, yes. Okay. And I'm going to clear this over here. I've pushed in the errors over here. Now let me see. I'm pretty sure it's going to tell me to run one command to make a .git, so this can be managed by Git and GitHub. But once we finish this, you'll call this one script and it should automate the deployment in perpetuity. Yep. Your project isn't initialized as a Git repository, so you just have to call git init. Git init, that should do it. If I call git init, now I'm going to stop this. It should have created a file called .git. And now I'm going to try to run that git push.bat command again. Okay. So now you can see it's working now. I did git init. Then I'm calling the git push.bat. It's going to try to connect to my GitHub out here. It's going to track all the files that we have here. And it's going to make sure everything is in sync. So I'm going to say updated my commit message. What did I do? I updated the chapter showcase. Enter. All right. This is going to make your local repository exactly like what's out in GitHub. Are you sure? Yes. Bang. Push that out there. And what I expect you to see. Oh, okay. Nope. It failed here. So this is going to be. Let me just get all of this in here. Some people hate seeing this. Some people appreciate the struggle. So you're going to see the struggle here, right? I need this fixed. Not fixed. Fixed. It failed to push out the sync. See the error at the bottom. So I pushed over what was in here into Cascade and asked Cascade to take a look at it. So it did successfully initialize. Okay. Alright, so the problem is, it's a nasty problem. The problem is it was trying to deploy to a folder called master, and as an African American man, I don't go around calling nobody master. But anyway, the main directory over here that we should be pushing it into should not be master, it should be main. So you can see there it's main. Actually, let me go to hours. Teaching and learning with AI. All of the code is in the main directory, not the master directory. So with that, it tells you call this command here. The branch should be called main. So it already did it for me. So now if I try to sync it, everything should work fine. Git-push.bat. Terminate batch. And I'm not sure what this is doing. Let me clear this and try this one more time. Oh, I see what's happening. What's happening is that it's still working over here. I need to stop this. It's interfering with what I'm doing. I'm clobbering it. Let me try this again. It should be in the main directory. So I call this. This will put me in main. Then if I do call my git push script here, I updated the chapter highlights. Whatever you did to your code, it's going to make everything sync. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, and now it should be syncing everything up. Now everything is synced out into, everything should be synced out here into GitHub. So now if I go out to my GitHub now, I go to my GitHub now. If I go out here to my GitHub, you'll see everything was just updated a few minutes ago, right? So everything was updated a few minutes ago. In fact, if I go into app, I don't see it. Anyway, it synced everything up here, so you can see here everything is now synced up. That's part of it. Once GitHub is automatically updated, then Netlify is constantly looking at that folder. So because Netlify is constantly looking at that folder, you see that it picked it up and it says, it's building. It's taken that new code, I should have did a build locally. It's taken that new code that you just pushed out there, it's trying to do a new build, and it's going to deploy it and push the changes out. So at this point, I realize that was 20 minutes of you watching me kind of go through here and muddle through here, but the value in this is that once this finishes, from now on, whenever you add anything over here, you just do an npm run build, make sure that the build works correctly. Make sure the build works correctly. And then you just call git-push.bat. And it will automatically update your application. So that's the value. That's the value in that. Okay. Right there. So yeah, the build is successful here, which means that since the build is successful here, it will be successful over here. You can see the build is successful, and it looks like it automatically deployed. So now if I go out to take a look at it, the changes that we did locally, this is live out here on the internet. The changes that we did locally should be here, inside the book, 10 transformational chapters. All right, so you can see everything worked. All right, thank you.